Open up the chat. Okay. Let's see what it looks like on YouTube.
Where's Jetty?
We are live.
All right.
Sounds good. I can hear it. Perfect. So we should be able to see when people get online. We are live. This is great. So we'll wait just a few minutes to let some people log on. We have 3 viewers already. So we will
one
let
of
everyone.
them. One of them is me.
Yeah, and I'm the other one. Yeah, that's all that matters. I hear your dogs.
Yeah.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I don't know. A really loud one. It's not my dog. It's my mom's dog.
Oh, Mom. Yeah, man. So you live in Brazil, right?
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful there, man.
Yeah, you like my videos?
Oh, I love your videos, man. I get so excited.
Yeah, it's quite fun. It's quite a paradise over here.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
We have
One
so
day.
many. We have so many spots in just so concentrated in one island. It's amazing. We can play in almost any wind direction, just not on the southwest one. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. You don't want to land anywhere in there on the hill.
Where?
You have the launch and then you have
Yeah,
the beach. That's it. Nowhere
yeah,
else to land.
exactly. But sometimes it happens that you land in the trees, and that's not. It's quite funny. Last time, one student of mine landed in the trees in the middle of nowhere, and we took 5 hours to retrieve his wing, and it was an adventure. Just to find the wing was difficult.
5 hours.
Five
Oh
hours
my.
in the woods, nothing else.
Oh.
But it is fun. With friends is always fun.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. Um, there is a pilot named Paul Guschenbauer, I believe is his name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And did you see the video he just released today? He's
Nah,
he's talking about flying in the Himalayan mountains.
yeah,
Great story. So you have to watch it when you get a chance.
yeah.
Incredible
With
story. Yeah.
That's a quite rough environment to fly.
Yeah. It looked intense and he did it some time ago, but the story is incredible. They started off with maybe 5 or 6 pilots, and they're going to do uh, Volbiv from
Yeah, yeah.
one end of the Himalayas all the way to the other end.
That's
And
crazy.
after the first couple days, they were going 100 kilometers a day,
Yeah,
and they slowly lost guys, and they were down to just him and his friend. I'll say you have to watch his
yeah. Don't
story.
spoil me.
So good, so good. Yeah. So I'm glad that you're here, and I really appreciate you coming on, and you've been a great inspiration. Uh, Even from the very get-go, I've watched your videos, and just I've scanned the internet to find good quality videos where you can learn something, and I found some of your things to be just incredibly well organized. Your videos are precise, and
Well, thanks.
yeah, I can tell that you've put a lot of effort into your videos. And so It's much appreciated. There's so many trolls that are on the internet. You can make a masterpiece video, and people don't appreciate it unless they make their own video. And every video you put out is impressive. So with that
Nice, thank.
said, I want to we'll start now. Looks we got 5 viewers now. That's enough for me.
Hi,
And this,
people.
yeah. So if you want to join in the chat, you can do that. I'm just going to make sure that we can. Uh, oh, there's my son. Okay, so
The Captain Obvious videos.
yeah, that's my son. He's funny.
I'm gonna
And
check his channel out later.
yeah. Yeah, he's so funny. So yeah, Flo was asking Paul Gruschenbauer, is that how you say it? Yeah.
Guschelbauer
Yeah, so Flo is
without
on
R.
Guschenbauer. Yeah. So with that, we will we will start the podcast. So I'm going to ask you some questions,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to turn you loose to share with us your story.
All right.
So, my first question is, how did you get into the sport?
Well, I always were passionate about flying, and since I was a little kid, I always made planes out of styrofoam, out of trash, out of paper, and my dream was always to fly. I always watched the birds and everything. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my first word was airplane. No, I don't know. And well, one day, well, I tried many things before. I tried flying in sailplanes, um, in motor planes, like small sport planes, and ultralights and everything. But nothing caught my attention like paragliding. And I was in border school in Germany, and as I was 14, one of my teachers, he was 60 at the time, he he started paragliding and showed me. He brought his equipment to the school and showed me, and I was hooked from this moment on. And then I annoyed my dad to to pay me for the basic instruction for the basic course. And then from that point on, there was no going back. It was amazing. And I was only 14, so the paragliding rucksack was bigger than I was, and I had quite a struggle to learn it. But it's been about almost 10 years now since I started, and it was quite an adventure until now, and it continues to impress me every day, you know?
Love it. So your first couple flights, were they in this area where you fly now, or was it somewhere
No, no,
else?
no. My first flights were in Germany, in Füssen. I don't know if maybe you know it, maybe you saw some pictures of it. It's pretty high, a nice place. It's where there's a castle and a big lake, beautiful place. So I learned to fly there, and where I lived in Germany, there was almost no almost no mountains, and so I had my first 2 years of paragliding were actually just ground handling and getting to know my wing on the ground.
Did you say months? Your
My
first.
first 2 years of paragliding were just ground handling and small flights.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I can consider myself an expert in ground handling.
Yeah. Wow. That is the longest I've heard anyone ground handle.
Yeah, because at that time I was only 14. I couldn't travel much and had to go to school, and I bought my first wing with 16, and I was always practicing. When I had time, I was practicing.
That's incredible. My son is learning a little bit here and there, so
Yeah.
uh, I
How
will.
old is he?
He's 13.
Oh, that's a nice age to start.
Yeah, yeah, and he picks it up very quickly. So
Yeah.
he was already ground handling and wanting pressing me. Dad, can you get me a wing? And so I know he's watching right now, so he's
It's nice
excited.
to start. It's nice to start with a speed wing or mini wing for
Yeah,
his age.
yep.
It's amazing.
So you're an acro pilot, correct?
Yeah.
The Some of your videos show you doing acro. Sometimes you're doing acro right off a launch. Sometimes you're out over the ocean. Talk to me about how you grew into what you are now.
Well, I've been all my life. I've been a freestyler and always loved to play around and just use my environment and well, yeah. And actually started acro just 2 years ago. So I've waited a quite long time to actually get into it. I prefer to take it easy. My mentality is to never to have to throw my reserve parachute. So I take my time, I enjoy it, and do it step by step, you know. And acro is just something special. It's just you and your wing, and you play around, you challenge yourself. You're always learning something new, always putting yourself in situations and getting out of it. It's just amazing. I love acro.
So at this point, you've got hundreds of hours in the air.
Yeah.
What would you say to the guy who's maybe a new to the sport, maybe a newer guy, maybe just 20 hours, and wants to consider flying? What would be your advice to them?
Well, take it easy. Don't hurry. Just take your time. Use your beginner wings. Fly a lot with that. Um, do it step by step. There's no need to jump steps. You just gonna risk your life, and it's not worth it. And at the end of the day, you have family, you have friends waiting for you to come home. Um, take it easy. Just enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. The I know it's getting late over there. I've got just a couple more questions for you, and
Oh, take your time. There's no problem.
I we have a I watched one of your videos, and you
Yeah.
shared a story that you were on the launch, and there were some dogs on the launch,
Yeah.
and I want you to share that story if you would.
Well, it was perfect conditions to play around, just smooth air, and somehow there were like 10 dogs running around and on the mountain where actually nobody goes and there's no civilization nearby. It's just woods, and I don't know how the dogs were uh, got there, and then I was playing around, and somehow those dogs were chasing me like crazy. And one of those dogs uh, bite my reserve handle and pulled my reserve. and I was like doing fast. How is it called? Like
Swooping.
swooping
Yeah.
down the mountain, and after the swooping, you go up again, and at this moment, as I go up, I feel my reserve pulling me like this, and it opens perfectly, and I just fall like backwards, like 5 meters, 7 meters, just on the ground, hit the ground, and I actually broke a piece of my tooth. And
Oh,
luckily, look, there's a lot of wind where I play around, and the suspension of the reserve is so high you can't reach the lines. So luckily, there were two boys over there that do motocross, and I screamed to them, "Help me! Help me! Help me! Catch the line! Somebody, please help me!" Because or else
because it was pulling you.
I was getting dragged around,
Yeah. Oh my
and
gosh.
that was crazy. And those guys were trying to catch the reserve, and the reserve is it's so much area, it tosses you around. It's crazy. And then one of those guys could stabilize it, and I reached the center line of the reserve, and then killed it finally. It was fun.
Oh, that is so great.
But I never threw my reserve on purpose.
The dog pulled your reserve.
Yeah,
Did the dogs come down where you were or they ran away?
they run away.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I picture you swooping the dogs and laughing and getting
Yes.
close, and the dogs are laughing at you when they ran
Yeah.
away. Ah,
Yeah.
that is great.
Unfortunately, I didn't film it.
Oh, right? No video? Yeah. That's the time. That is that is classic. So, your most intense moment of flying, if you'll share that with everyone right now.
Well, that was a few weeks ago. uh,
Really?
yeah,
Recently?
yeah. Did you see the video? Did you watch the video of
Yeah.
the Matrix collapse? Well, I learned this trick a few weeks ago, 1 week before this incident. Well, I had many incidents that were quite borderline, and but this one was made me think a little bit about my life, about my um, attitudes, about my stuff, my family. I just learned the maneuver and tried to do it with a little bit more energy. And this wing is not really made to do high energy maneuvers. It's a freestyle wing for basic acro maneuvers. So I tried to do it a little bit more intense. And the wing spun around and shoot sideways like in a sat, but then collapsed. And luckily, I had a quite good training, a quite nice, good knowledge about stalling the wing, and got out of it just fine. There were other incidents that made me think about my situation where I was. I told that in previous vlogs. Um, it was I was flying an acro wing. It was in Serra da Moeda, in near Belo Horizonte. I was flying high. I was practicing my backflies, and the wing shoots sideways, and it locks in a spiral. And I didn't know how to exit, um, and I was getting low, almost crashed into the mountain. I did something to go out of the spiral, and that made me think about my decisions also. That I don't need to fly a acro wing to practice acro. I can fly a ENA, ENB wing, and have just as much fun, uh, uh, or maybe even more fun, because I can fly safer with more confidence. And yeah, that's it.
So I'm sharing the video right now as you're talking, and this was the day that you're talking about, the most recent one.
Yeah.
Uh, if you want to comment on that while it's playing, everyone can
Well,
see this footage. It's kind of choppy, I know.
yeah, but you can have an idea of how much. Well, here's the Mac twist. This one was fine. You can have an idea of how much altitude I have to work here. Um, it's not much. It's about 80 meters at maximum over the ground,
Oh my gosh, that is so
and
low.
that is sketchy. And I don't recommend anyone to practice that low. Just get as much altitude as possible, at least 300 meters. Here's the Mac twist again. It's half a or quarter of a turn of a spiral, and then I spin the wing, and it makes 1.5 turns, and falls back in a backfly situation, and then I let it fly. Um, I love to practice those stalled maneuvers like helico, misty flips, Mac twist. I think they are just aesthetically beautiful and fun, and don't lose too much altitude.
So in this video, I mean, you can't really see, and I want to encourage if you're watching this video live right now, afterwards, go back, check out Max's channel. You're flying in some pretty strong winds.
Yeah.
What is the typical wind speed in the place where you fly?
It's best with at least 19, 20 kilometers per hour or more. The limit is about, yeah, I would say 26 kilometers, 28 kilometers per hour.
That's very fast. Have you ever launched and been blown over, blown backwards to where you have to get on the speed bar?
Well, not really. Not really. Me, at least, not. Uh, Other pilots that fly on bigger wings or maybe on the lower margin of the weight range, they get blown over. And
Yeah, I bet.
we had a few weeks ago, we had a case of a pilot. He learned on his own, so I don't take responsibility for his mistakes. Um, and Well, the wind was strong. It was about 26 kilometers per hour. I mean,
Oh,
you have white caps on the ocean, and the trees are blowing like crazy. And if you don't take off properly and you go out in a pendulum motion, you can lose pretty much your penetration. If you touch your brakes, you lose your penetration. If you're not quick enough to accelerate, you can get blown over. It's a Venturi effect,
yeah.
a vertical Venturi effect. Uh, Due to the compression, the wind accelerates just on the peak of the mountain. And if you get in this situation, you have to, at best, try to big ears and accelerate. So you won't penetrate much, but you will lose altitude. And by losing altitude, you can use the ground effect, which is the turbulence near ground. You can penetrate a little bit, and but it's quite intense to fly like this. You can only use your weight shift, and if you going too low, you have to release the big ears and then get your pickies down again. It's quite technical to get out of the situation. And this guy who learned on his own, he just got blown over. And our mountain is like an L. And if you get blown over on the middle part, you're screwed. There is
Oh,
no way you can go out because
trees.
um, because of the turbulence is so strong, it will push you down, and there's no escape. Um, just behind the mountain, we have lots of trees. That's not the problem, but the problem starts when the houses and the electric
Oh,
the how is it called,
power
the
lines.
high tension power lines.
Oh, the
They're
big ones.
It's very very intense, and I don't recommend anyone to fly in those situations if you don't have the proper equipment or the abilities to fly out of this.
So growing up here in this, I'm going to share some of your footage from one of your videos where you are sharing your testimony of who you are, and
Yeah.
very good testimony, by the way. You're I I hesitate to share the actual footage because it's choppy, but I'll share it anyways. Um, Tell me a little bit about your everyday life outside of paragliding.
um, the day starts by taking care of my father, who needs to change the diaper every morning, and then, well, actually it starts by praying, thanking God for another day, thanking for health, thanking for all the opportunities He has given, and then we take care of my father, my mom, and I. Um, we I try to ingest just um, good um, good breakfast, good how is it called, natural stuff, so that my body stays working. And I usually in the morning I do some Bible studies just to gather some wisdom, and yes, and then from midday on to noon I go flying. I work sometimes, do tandem flights. Sometimes I go teach, um, and sometimes I just go practice acro. Well,
That's a
that's
great day.
yeah. I'm blessed, definitely.
Absolutely. And you can see in the background the beautiful place. Um,
Yeah.
Not many places like this on Earth. Incredible, incredible views, and the weather I can tell is it's just like San Diego. It it looks magnificent. So um, down that trail, I'm a Christian as well. How is it that you came to Christ? How did you end up uh, knowing uh, in a personal way Jesus Christ?
it's I was it started in Germany. I didn't believe in anything. But I also wasn't an atheist. I just was seeking the truth, and but I was going down the path of drugs and bad influences, of stealing and all that stuff. And at that time, my dad and my mother had to take care of the the hotel we had in Porto Seguro. And so I was in border school in Germany, and I was far from my parents. I didn't have guidance, and I was going down a pretty bad path. Um, then my father had a stroke, and I think God allowed this situation so that everybody around can learn from it, and I sure did. We I left Germany, left everything behind, left the fake friends, left the drugs, left everything behind, and came to Brazil. I fell in love with Florianopolis. It's just a beautiful place, and here I saw I can. recover from all the bad things I've gone through, and slowly I got to reflect about myself, about the things I've done and stuff. And one day I found a small book from a church, from a Seventh Day Adventist church over here, and it, it basically it said uh, it told the story from the beginning, from Adam and Eve, until what is going to happen at the end of the coming of Jesus. And I was fascinated about the story. I never heard it like this. Oh, well, I had an idea what a Christian was, but I didn't have quite. I didn't have such precise information in such a small book. And then I started getting more interested in Jesus and how he's the best example of helping helping one another, and he's just a figure that you won't find a similar one in the whole history of Earth. And I started reading the Bible. I started reading Matthew, Mark, Luke, Lucas, or how is it called in English?
Yeah, Luke.
Luke, and read everything about Jesus and just fell in love and started also to apply his teachings into my life and really saw a difference. And one day, as this video you're showing, one day I'm very passionate about paragliding. Don't get me wrong. I was growing up and thinking about how my life would be if um, if I sacrifice it like I sacrifice for paragliding, which is every day, lots of paragliding. So um, and then thinking about that, there was a friend of mine who is Seventh Day Adventist also, and I started talking about it about all the stuff, and we started just to talk, and then I said, "Dude, I want to baptize myself," and he said, "Wait, we need to do Bible study, and then just so you have a basis, a foundation, um, and then you can get baptized." Yeah, and that was it. And God gave me new life. I'm a new person. If you did know me a while back, I was a terrible person. And now I changed. I help my father. I help my family. Um, I'm well. I'm still a sinner, but I try to be the best. And I repent for my mistakes. Repent for my actions, for my thinking. Yeah, and that's it.
I love it, man. Incredible. By the way, um, I didn't really know how we were going to uh, how the conversation was going to go. So this was not like a planned thing that we're going to preach to everyone and give them the gospel. But uh, many of you know that I am a Christian. You'll never hear me cuss. Part of the rules of the um, to be on the show, you have to agree to
Yeah.
not say any cuss words on the show, and we established some rules. You know, nothing immoral is going to be talked about on here, and strictly, you know, paragliding and truth. And so I love it. It's great, and I haven't
Am I
even checked the
behaving myself?
comments. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. No potty mouth, Max Parra. Let's see if we can get him on here. We have uh, we have another. Uh, let's see, Max Parra. See if I can invite him on. I just saw his email. Let's try this. So this is the first episode. I'm so glad too that it's so good.
Yeah, it's a nice idea, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I feel like it's a family. Paragliding is so intimate.
Yeah,
There's only, and even in America, I was telling someone the other day, there's only 5,000 registered pilots, give or take, here in the United States. And in Europe, they have over 100,000 registered pilots.
yeah.
And I thought, so that's pretty intimate. And so we watch each other's videos. I see you commenting on mine. I comment on yours. We're always going back and forth. And I thought it would be great to learn from each other and open this platform for people to ask questions and look into. So if there's any questions, um, it would be great if we can maybe take some time to take a look at some of those right now. And can you see the comments?
Yeah,
So you're also a moderator. You can um, you can control the chat, and um, so there's two chats. There's the YouTube chat and there's the Hangouts chat. So you'll need to look at the YouTube chat.
I see a question from Flo. What paragliding location would you like to travel to? Well, that's a nice question. I'd love to travel to Iquique in Chile. That's a huge dune where you can practice waga, which is playing close to the ground, and then fly high and practice acro. And the fun thing about this place is you can fly 365 days a year.
I've never played in the dunes. I bet you that's fun.
Oh, that's lots of fun. But then you get sand cones, sand particles in places you
Everywhere.
didn't know existed.
Oh yeah. We have a site that we fly called Torrey Pines. Are you
Yeah,
familiar with
yeah,
Torrey
I know.
Pines?
For a minute. Yeah,
It's beautiful. So
yeah,
I've
it's
I've only flown there a couple times, but I love it. The
yeah.
season is over. Well, I shouldn't say over. It's limited now. So it's quiet there. I'm not sure if they're still flying there. Let me see if I can invite Max Parra. This is my son
Hey,
Taven. Let's see.
I told you I was coming in.
I know.
nice.
No, you don't.
Max.
Chat.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh.
Maksim Parra.
I see
Let's
another
try.
question.
Yeah, go for it.
You ever think of strapping a motor to your back? Um, yes and no. I work with paratrikes sometimes. This season is going to be hot. We are having 6 pilots. Um, of 5 of them are working with paramotors, paratrikes. Um, I like it and I don't like it. It's noisy, it's annoying, it's heavy, but it's so much fun just to play around and have endless whoops and touch your feet in the water and continue flying. It's fun. I would like to buy myself a scout paramotor
Oh,
with how's it called? Monster 185 plus, um, with nice suspension for acro, and I would just love to get real high and turn the motor off and just go down like crazy. But I don't have the money yet to buy myself one of these.
yeah, they are the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
the scout invite. So I
Uh,
just sent.
One more thing. Big shout
Yeah.
out to Takagat, who is
Yeah.
right now one of the biggest paragliding YouTubers of the
Incredible.
world. It's amazing. His work is fantastic. Um, he's getting the word of flying to so many people that didn't know about this great sport, and it's just amazing.
Yeah. If you haven't found Tucker Gott's channel, very good channel. I should put a link up. Someone just joined us. So this is Max Parra.
Hey,
Chris,
what's up?
what's up, brother?
How's your name?
My name's Chris, but the screen name I use is Maxim Parra. Now,
All right.
I was admiring your mention of the Moster 185. That's a made by Viterazzi out of
Yeah,
Italy.
yeah,
It's an excellent motor. I have one right now, and I'm approaching the 100-hour maintenance mark. So I have to break the engine apart, and I have to replace the rings, the gaskets, the seals. I got to clean all of the grime off of the inside, but it's a labor of love because when there's no lift during the winter here in San Diego, I can still get in the air, and it's worth it. Totally worth it.
ba- basically you're carrying the mountain on your back.
Yes, yes, I
And
do.
did you have any problems yet?
No, I've never had an engine out, but I have. You have to pre-flight the engine by checking bolts. Like I've had some bolts fall out because of the vibration. Like
Yeah,
I have 3 bolts on my gas tank. I recently replaced one, and I'm like, oh, I've been flying around with just part of a gas tank hanging off. And uh, one of my first fly-ins over at Salton Sea, that's about an hour and a half from here, where many paramotor pilots come and fly in the desert all day long.
yeah,
It's an amazing place. One of my swing arms, the bolt almost came out, riding out from the vibration. So in paragliding, there's no vibration. You don't feel it, but the motor creates that vibration. So as long as you check your bolts, check all of your machinery, you should be fine.
yeah. And what cage are you flying?
I'm flying from a called a Propulse. It's made
Okay.
from a company called Aerolite in Miami, Florida, where I was born and raised.
Yeah, yeah. I heard of that.
Hmm. The two
Nice.
brothers that run Aerolite, Javier and Jose, they're Spaniards, really
Yeah, yeah. I know
experienced
them.
guys. Oh yeah,
I I know Javi,
yeah.
the
He travels a
Malaguita
lot.
brothers. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
They're crazy.
I love seeing their results because my brother-in-law lives down the street from Javi, and he ended up buying one of his motors and learning to fly there in Miami.
Yeah, great. I mean, those guys did a great job on evolving the sport and just making those motors tougher and tougher. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
I agree. And one of these days, I'm going to get Rob here to strap my motor on his back, and we're going to go for a test flight. He's excited,
Yeah,
but
I'll do it.
you know, he's got to learn some new muscles because literally these
Yeah,
things,
it's a little bit
this
different.
pack, it's heavy.
Is it
Yeah,
50 pounds?
It's 50 pounds without fuel, so you add a little fuel, it's a bit more. But as soon as you load the wing, you use
yeah,
those
that gets
kite.
light.
Yeah, it lifts the motor off your back, which is great.
Yeah. If you get a chance to check out Max Parra's videos, they are really good. He takes a lot of time, like Max Martini. He takes a lot of time and puts a lot of effort into his videos, and they're stunning, really, every time. So I'm always looking at his videos, trying to better my videos. From both of you guys, actually, it's pretty neat that you're both on tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for the kind
Thanks,
words.
brother.
I really
Yeah,
am. I, I hope it never goes to my head. I am an amateur, and I hope to stay an amateur video editor.
yeah,
I make videos that I want to see, and if I get too proud, then I might lose the whole point of what I'm doing.
right.
I
Here's a picture I
back to
put.
back to the motor topic. I need to share this story. We are flying a Thor 250, I think.
The 250 is very heavy. I thought the Thor had the
Yeah,
130.
yeah. I mean, it's on a trike, so I don't
Oh
have to
yes,
carry.
yeah. Thor.
And
They have the trike. That's going to help you carry the heavy motor.
yeah, it's a nice trike we have. Um, and the story is that we didn't fly much this season, this winter season, and and the gas was quite old. It
No,
was about 4 months
no,
old,
no! You
and
can't do that.
and
That'll be very bad. It'll.
listen, listen. It's quite embarrassing. Listen, um, and and we're trying to sell this strike, um, and the guy came here and wanted to test fly it, and kid you not, the motor failed one time, failed two times, three times,
Oh
and then the
no!
cylinder just
Yeah,
broke
it
down.
burned out, huh?
No.
Yeah, if you can't run old gas in these things, just
No,
about
no.
any manual that you find is going to say do not let old gas sit in the tank, because once you mix the fuel and the oil together, the
Yeah,
oil tends to break down after a month. And
it gets like a gelatin or something.
yeah, and
It
so you
was
lose.
green.
Yeah,
It's actually red, and then it turned green.
no, that's probably a good sign
To
see what I
change it.
do when that happens to me. I put my motor up on my garden. It's like 4 feet high, and then I'll use a tube to siphon out the
Yeah,
fuel from my tank, and then I
I
just
mean,
put it in the car.
the motor was not mine, so
Oh, okay. Well, at least you didn't have to pay for it.
yeah, exactly.
But I'm jealous of you, man. You've got good flying conditions without the motor all year round.
Almost.
Yeah, I mean, still jealous.
In the
I
winter season is quite difficult to fly, but we had a lot of luck this year. We played like 1 month straight every day on the dune, and this is where my video comes. Best of Dune 2017. Go check it out. It's fun.
Oh yeah. Let me pull that up right now while you're talking.
cool.
You should be able to see my screen as I'm sharing.
I
Yeah,
see. I see.
Yeah, so let's do this.
another great film. Something between from Marvin Orga and those guys.
Have you seen the video that they what is it? Gosh, Gavin McClurg's video in Alaska. It's something from nowhere, something like that. Gosh, I can't remember. Chris, you have to help me.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of videos that I love. In fact, my brother-in-law just sent me a video of. I'll be able to tell you the name, but he connects his paramotor to a remote control radio and motor. So he
Yeah, from the
he
Brother
jumps.
Greens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he jumps out of his paramotor and he controls it with a like a little hand remote.
What?
Yeah, Anthony Green did that from
That is
Bruce Goldsmith Designs.
that is crazy. So
BGD.
your
Yeah.
paramotor becomes a drone?
Remote control. And then the benefit to that is in Miami, what they're doing is a friend of my brother-in-law, he is taking a trike up to 13,000 feet, and he's letting students jump free fall parachutes. They're going skydiving out of a paramotor.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then
Yeah.
when both the pilot and the student jump out of the paramotor for skydiving, the paramotor is then just piloted down to land, and then they put a gallon of gas in it and go right back up to 13,000 feet.
Oh, that's amazing. I
Wow.
would love to do that.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful video you got up there, Robert. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get hooked on these videos. See, Max doesn't know he posts this and then I stop. Life stops. I have to watch.
Mm.
It's cool. It
Oh, it's
reminds
so
me of
great.
like skateboarders on a half pipe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. We were
it
playing
is.
around like a skate park.
Hey, tell me, you're so close to the power lines right there. Have you ever touched the power lines?
Yeah, yeah, I touched it.
Oh my gosh, no.
I flown over it. I got caught in it and stalled the wing out. I had
Oh
It's
man.
very
those
scary. Very scary.
those posts, light posts over there. Those are dangerous if you get caught in them. And I ripped my wing. I told that in a vlog. I ripped my wing and got me quite a nice quite a nice
Repair.
rip and repair. Yeah, quite
How
expensive.
how expensive do you how, was it this price of the glider, half the price of the glider?
No, not that much. But I ripped four cells and two lines. That's about 600 Brazilian dollar.
Oh.
That's that's
Oh,
a lot
okay.
for me at least.
Man.
Yeah, it is, but you're lucky because 600 Brazilian dollars works out to be um
Yeah, for you guys it's cheap, but for me it's quite expensive.
no, but you're like
San Diego.
I guess you know somebody in Brazil that can fix it because when my brother-in-law he's shipping his wing to fix the leading edge, and
Yeah.
in there's a guy in New Mexico that's fixing it. It's going to cost like $1,000, and it's a 6-inch tear.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
But it's the leading
It,
edge. It's very important.
I mean, um, due to there are not so many people that do repairs, it's quite expensive. You know, there's a quite high demand and not much people, not many people
Oh
do
yeah.
that job.
Oh yeah, it's very very careful work. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing repairs in Brazil, but to do that you must go to France and do a course
school.
to learn it, and then you get a certification and you can do
Yeah.
actual repairs.
The funny thing is in United States, nobody cares about the certifications. Yeah, you don't. When we get our ratings for paragliding, we don't have to prove anything about our wings.
Yeah,
We can just
you.
fly anything we want, and that's dangerous if you have
Yes,
a if you people don't know what they're doing.
and you guys don't have a license, a pilot's license?
We have a private association that gives us rating called a USPA, and
Oh yeah, yeah, I heard of
and
it.
in San Diego we have an association as well that we register. But the license, see, Rob's about to show his. Yeah,
But it's
but
actually worth nothing.
no, because when you go to a place like Torrey Pines, you have to show that. You have
Ah
to
yeah.
prove that you have the skill to fly there, but you don't have to prove that your wing is good. It's
You
just
know
that
what's
it's
funny?
interesting. Well, go ahead, go ahead.
You know what's funny? You prove that you have a license, but many pilots don't actually know to fly.
I,
Hey Rob, don't take.
no,
Hey.
see,
Don't be hating.
I have,
No, I know where you're going. I know what you're about to say.
It's not for bad. I mean, it's
no,
not
it's
I
your
true.
know.
fault
I know.
No,
that you
it's
I
true.
don't
know.
It's true.
know.
I know people
Tell me.
that they bought P3 so they could fly at Torrey Pines, and then they've never flown on a mountain before in their whole life, and that's pretty much what you need the P3 for.
Mine is
Yeah,
backwards. I learned in the mountains in
yeah.
places I should not be flying at all, but I didn't,
Hey,
you know.
let's talk about this. Let's talk
Okay,
about
all
it.
right, all right.
Let me know, first of all, let me know the situation. How was the wind, the direction? How was the thermals? Were you hungry? Were you thirsty? What was the situation? What was you trying to do?
Oh my
You
gosh.
went for cross
Okay,
country or what?
okay. So he's talking about this last flight at Palomar.
Yeah.
Um, by the way, that video is going crazy right now. I
Yeah.
get comments all day. It's nonstop. People are, man, you have
That's
to
a
have,
problem. If you do nice videos, nobody cares. If you
yeah.
do almost kill yourself, everybody, wow, what you
Ah,
doing?
wow. Yeah. So, okay. So it was a stronger day than I expected.
Yeah,
And so I have been flying. Most of my flights were glass offs,
yeah,
nice and smooth. And I'm always flying with other pilots who are, kind of watching out for me because they know I'm very new. And so that day, that was big boy flying. Hey, look, Getty G just came.
Hey,
Hello.
Jetty. What's up, my man?
Yo, what's up, man? How's it going?
All right. Getty just woke up right now. It's like 12 o'clock over there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I just finished hanging up. I've
nice.
actually been listening to you guys for a few minutes.
Oh, good. Yeah, I sent
Ah.
the invite a little while ago, so make sure that you got in.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that day there was some strong thermals,
Mhm.
and everything is fine when you're in a strong thermal if you stay
Yeah,
in the thermal.
yeah. If you go out, then the problem starts.
It gets crazy, right? So that's the first part of I was going beyond my abilities high, and there was also that day there was a convergence coming.
Yeah,
East wind was meeting up with the west from the sea breeze, and we were having some really good airtime. I mean, you can see in the video I was at about pretty close to 8,000 feet above sea level. So um, the mistake that I made was when I hit what I believe was the wind shear, that
yeah.
level up high was crossing. There was some weird rotors happening in there, and I I just before you see the video, I hit the strongest thermal that I've ever been in
Yeah.
since of all my paragliding. It was insane. So I turned the GoPro on as soon as I got my control back, where I was like, wow, that was crazy. And I'm at 8,000 feet next to what I thought was the end of that thermal, but it was still there, obviously. And there was a lot of things going on. So I think I hit that wind shear at that level, and that's when I turned the GoPro on. You hear me say, I feel like the wind is coming from the east now. I'm not sure what's going on. And I was right at the top of that convergence. And so my wing collapsed on the right-hand side, and instead of me leaning to the good side, I fell in to the
All
collapse.
right, all right, all right. Let's get into
That's my
this.
first mistake.
Wait. There are many mistakes.
That's
Wait.
the beginning.
Yeah, let's get into this. First of all, you must imagine the terminal is going like this now with the wind, and
Mhm.
then at the windshield layer it turns to the other side, right?
Exactly.
And then maybe in your situation, maybe you thought you were thermaling like this, but the thermal was already like this, and you went out of the thermal. And what happens when you have updrafts? You have downdrafts on the side, right?
Right.
And the wing will talk to you the whole time. You just need to watch, listen, feel it in your seat, feel it on your bum. And there's a situation like I saw in your video. It's always the same. When
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wing will when the
I
wing will
agree.
collapse.
He's trying
When
to
the
say
wing,
that your hips don't lie.
yeah, exactly. when the wing will collapse, it does a pitch movement like this. It talks to you. It says, "Look, man, um, look, I'm trying to work here, and you're not piloting active enough." And what happens? The wing does like this one, and the second time it collapses. It's always the same.
Mm.
And like I said in my stall tutorial, um, when the wing goes behind you, when it does like this, what do you need to do with your brakes?
Do
Release,
not, yeah, hands up.
release, hands up, to don't
Yeah,
stall it
yeah,
accidentally.
yeah.
And when it shoots, you do,
Check them.
you break him.
Control.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And if you would have done that, it would have collapsed maybe, but just a little bit, and it would have recovered, you know. And then there's a series of mistakes that went into this. One of those mistakes is that your teacher didn't teach you or didn't talk to you about all the situations that might happen when you fly in those conditions, you know. And there is a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of knowledge of piloting.
We did. And I knew what I was supposed to do.
Oh, yeah?
But to connect it from here to here, difficult. It's very new.
I know.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult. But then there's another aspect, training. You know what you have to do. You must practice it. You must stay sharp. You don't, you know, if you get yourself in those situations and you never went through something like this, then it's a high probability that you might not act properly.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of dynamics involved, and I have flown in a lot of air, a lot of different situations, and a lot of different. You've seen some of my cross country stuff.
Yeah.
I've been in quite a bit. That day was very intense, and we weren't expecting it to be that intense. Everyone had a great day, but every pilot there, mark it down, and then no excuses. You saw my mistakes, and I'm very transparent. I'm answering questions every day, maybe 10 questions a day.
Yeah.
My favorite video of yours, Robert, is the one where you do a green screen on the time you stalled.
Oh yeah, full
Little
stall.
Black.
Yeah.
That was the first video I saw of you.
Nice, viral.
Hey, I had a parachute patient in the hospital yesterday, and I actually showed him your video because he was over at Skydive San Diego, and he did that 50 feet over the ground with his parachute.
Oh, full stall?
Full stall at 50 feet.
Oh,
and
ouch.
Yeah, I was at the hospital with him over in Hillcrest. He got hurt. I was hanging out with him. He's like, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I was flaring because somebody over the radio told me to flare, and I thought everything was good. Everything was going slow, and then all of a sudden, I'm flying backwards, and then I fall, and then everything went black.
Oh my word! Yeah. So what I was going to say is that in that flight at Palomar, every pilot that came down, we all landed. We were all talking, and everyone said they encountered the same conditions at about 7,500, maybe 8,000 feet above sea level. So there was some interesting dynamics that were going on that contributed. So I had experienced some collapses, but I had never been in a situation where I felt like my wing just disappeared. Everything fell apart. And then when you add the energy now, I had never been in full face down spiral. So that energy next to a very large thermal, you know, it was crazy. I was trying to correct. You see my hands doing too much. I needed to let the wing fly.
Let me know why didn't you practice a spiral or a collapse with your instructor?
Light spirals. Light spirals, but nothing like that. This was full G-force. I mean, I couldn't even barely talk. It was crazy. Now I know.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Take the blood away from my brain.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
If you turn off a pilot that is giving bad inputs, you make him a better pilot.
Yeah, that's what Phil said.
Yeah, and that's maybe the best reaction, to don't react.
Just go to sleep. Getty G, what's up, bro?
Hey, man. How's it going?
So you're in Australia?
Yeah, that's it. Melbourne.
And Melbourne, nice.
Yeah.
So how do you know Max? Because Max is the show. He's the star of the show today.
No.
Come on. It's your show today. We entitled this show Max Martini.
It's not about me. It's not about me.
I think I actually met him the first time he commented on one of my YouTube videos.
Playing
about
the dunes.
Yeah, playing the dunes, and then you suggested I put on free brakes
Yeah.
to get like a bit better control over the glider. And then I started doing research, and I did actually put them on because of your suggestion. And I don't think I can ever go back to the normal way, just because of the
It's so
freestyle flying.
good.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's so good. Yeah, but I think that's how I met you the first time.
Yeah. I really enjoyed his videos, his first ones. He had style, he had good music, and just enjoying himself, and that was fun to watch.
Awesome. I've probably seen all your videos, man. They're too good.
Nice, thanks.
Hey, but Robert, when you were talking about the spiral, when you entered that spiral,
Yeah.
I was actually surprised myself because not long ago I went to an inland trip. It was the first time I started doing deep spirals. I had no idea the G forces are that strong. Even if you just keep it for like a few seconds,
Yeah.
like it just opened my mind up to like how physical it is.
Yeah.
So I could understand how weird of an experience that was for you when you were sort of locked in that spiral.
By the way,
careful not to aim your head down at your feet. It could be bad.
yeah, by the way, Jaddy, congratulations, your first acro move. Yoo-hoo! And
Oh yeah, I saw that.
one thing to say about G-force,
Yeah.
you need to have tension in your body. You need to flex all your muscles and
Okay.
concentrate to breathe out. So don't have excessive oxygen in your brain, like hyperventilating. That's not good either, you know. And lack of oxygen is also not very good.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I had no idea. I was just doing whatever sort of felt natural. But yeah, that's real interesting.
Did you post that recently? I'm gonna pull up your videos. Getty G.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, it's quite a recent video.
Oh, I typed it in wrong. Autocorrect.
One fun thing about SAT, it's one of the easiest maneuvers, but it's fun to do. Also, when you do your SAT, you enter your SAT and then you can pull more, and the wing will go up like this and will turn slower, and the G forces will get less.
Wow.
And you don't have to worry about stalling accidentally. You have a low certification wing, so the brake pressure gets so high you won't stall it. Believe me.
Wow. Yeah, it didn't feel like it was a trick that was too technical as far as executing it for the first time. But I did get caught off guard when I entered it a bit too early.
Yes.
And it just climbed so quickly. So I guess that's one of the dangers.
And that is why it's important to know your stalls and the limit of your brake. If you brake too much, if you brake too early, you know, you have to know how to handle the situation. Maybe to stabilize in a backfly and then release again, you know?
Yeah, I've had no experience with stalling whatsoever. Do you think that was a wise decision on my part, trying to do a set without any other
No,
experience?
actually not. That's not the wisest decision.
Yeah.
But I told you already in a few comments, practice your pitch pendulum, practice your limit of your brakes, do a takeoff and then brake and then see. I saw you practice it already.
Yeah, on the ground, the stalling.
Yeah, but with the Suzy, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You have to practice with your big wing.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, because it's completely different dynamic, the two different wings. Yeah.
Different brake pressure. Everything is different.
Yeah. Well, what would you say to be practicing acro with only one reserve and not an acro harness, just a normal reversible? You think get the proper setup and
I don't know. Sometimes I fly with no reserve. Sometimes
Oh my gosh!
I know a few pilots
sort
who
of view
fly
that you-
without reserves. Heck, I've seen Phil fly with no harness.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Phil just like puts on a tiny little pair of underwear with carabiners on them.
Yeah. A G-string. Well,
Look at
to
Getty.
be honest, it's
Crazy.
good to have a reserve. It's good to have altitude, and it's best to have a harness that is um, not too unstable. You know, some harnesses are just a strap, and if you put your weight a little bit, then it's extreme. You know, especially for practicing stalls and all that stuff. You need to have symmetry, and if you have a little bit of asymmetry just built in your harness, then it gets a little bit difficult.
What harness would you recommend? Like a Super Acro 3? They seem
Yeah, that's the best one. That's the best
Yeah.
one you can get. The
Yeah,
Acro 3.
Yeah. What harness do you fly with?
What?
Well, what harness are you flying?
The Acro 3.
Oh, okay. Oh,
But
nice.
I just use one reserve just to have a little bit less weight.
Yeah. You feel like that's enough?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where 2 would have been better?
No, never.
I think
Because I always try to.
Here, you have to wear 2 reserves at the SIV courses here, but I mean they're making you do stuff you've never done before. I mean, I assume Max has done some of these acro moves before.
Listen, I never did a SIV course. I just practice everything very systematically. I break down all the movements so that I know how to entry, how to stabilize, and how to exit before I even try the maneuver. I visualize it. I practice my how is it called, muscle memory. The famous paragliding dance where you just do like this and simulate the maneuvers with your hands. And I'm very prepared before I try something. So
That's incredible.
And you've never had any problems with that system as far as you being caught off guard, or it's something you weren't prepared for?
well, if you saw one of my newer videos where I had a big collapse in a new maneuver of the Mac twist, I was a little bit cocky, I could say. I was a little bit with the wrong mindset, but besides of that, my system never failed until now, and hopefully it don't fail. I don't want to throw my reserve.
Oh, have you ever thrown a reserve, by the way?
Just an accident.
That still
So
counts.
in the beginning of the show, we were talking, and part of the interview, I was asking him. He was playing on the hill, and some dogs were there. So tell him real quick again. That was hilarious.
I was playing Waga, just doing swoopings and stuff, and out of nothing, there were 10 dogs chasing me around, and I was having fun, and they were having fun also. And somehow one of those dogs got my reserve handle, and out of the swooping, I felt just my reserve opening and crashed into the mountain back with my back, and I actually lost a piece of my tooth.
Oh no!
It was a pain in the ass to kill the reserve parachute. I was dragged around.
In the mouth too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
so funny.
Unfortunately, I didn't film it, but it was fun.
Well, battery life is not forever on these little cameras.
Yeah.
I always have to change batteries.
Yeah, that's so bad for that. For the battery life. You never know what to do. Yeah.
Back to the topic, the mentality is to never throw the reserve. You see many acro pilots that have the base system, or many acro pilots that just practice over water. They can throw the reserves however they like, but I practice low. I have a family. I have friends that wait for me at home. I can't allow myself to injure myself or die practicing acro.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What's the ideal situation? If you could imagine an ideal situation to learn acro, where would you say to go, or what equipment would you say to get? And I've noticed you fly just on the large freestyle wing that you have. Have you thought about going to the smaller acro wings? To the
Look,
full acro?
the red out, there are two sizes, the 19 and the 21, and I have the 19. It's the smaller size, but it's still big compared to many other acro wings. And smaller than that, I don't get enough altitude to practice. Um, and I like the dynamics of it. Just a few maneuvers is a little bit difficult, like the helical descent. But the ideal equipment is a low ENB wing, ENA wing, like a BGD Epic, a U-turn Emotion, Ozone Rush, or those wings. They are awesome to practice.
The
They
Rush?
behave.
I love the Rush.
Yeah. They behave perfectly for a beginner. They are slow. They are very predictable, and just go somewhere where you can have lots of altitude and you can do many acro rounds, many training sessions after another. Because what makes a good pilot is repetition, and invest in your time.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting, man.
You went to Bali. Why didn't you go to a higher spot?
Oh yeah, no, I just did not plan it properly because there is a good higher spot in Bali. Yeah, Candidasa, I think. Yeah, it's definitely on the plan next time, but I regret not doing it.
Getty's video was cool. And I remember when you were getting ready to leave, you were like, I'm not bringing my camera. And I'm like, no, bring your camera. And so I'm so glad that you did, man, because that video was awesome. If you don't,
Awesome, man.
yeah, I loved it. And there's some secret footage in there too. You have to really watch. He had a big collapse, and it was like over the road and over the side of the hill. Oh my gosh. I was like, no, not right there. And it was pretty windy.
Yeah. It was quite a windy spot. Like a lot of days, it was just me and the tandem pilots flying, because I had the small 16-meter wing, and they had the highly loaded wings. So it's quite windy down there. Like I was surprised. I was glad that I brought the small wing with me as well.
Yeah, I love your videos where you're on your favorite spot, your launch, that nice grass they put down there. Who put that grass there?
I think it was
Pilots?
by the pilots, the organization that the organization that looks after all the pilots. Like we pay a fee every year, and then that money gets put into paragliding resources and developing sites.
That's such a cool site.
Yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful site. It's so good to practice, especially when there's not many traffic. Such
Air
a clean
traffic.
site. Yeah, air traffic. But do you guys have organizations in your countries where you sort of pay fees to every year and they sort of manage sites and all that sort of stuff?
Yes.
You enforce rules?
Yeah, we have what's called USHPA. It's a United States Hang Gliding Paragliding Association.
Yeah, but
You can
they
see
don't
that.
maintain the sites here in San Diego.
Oh, right.
We have a different one.
Yeah, that's San Diego Hang Gliding Paragliding Association.
Yeah, and then we are intimately friends with the guys that run that organization, and there's a smaller fee, and what's great about it is that they organize trips on Indian land here, and we get tacos and have great we get rides to the top of the launch site, which is nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
And here
when
in
you see the
Brazil,
flyings. Yeah,
excuse me, here in Brazil, our association is the most corrupt one. We pay a lot to don't have any service or anything.
Jeez.
How much is it? How much is it a year?
We pay like 250 to 350 Brazilian
Oh
dollar
my gosh.
Oh,
for
okay.
nothing, for absolutely nothing.
You're an instructor too, right?
Yeah.
So you have to pay a fee for that as well, right?
Yes.
Separate?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's
So
crazy.
it goes about 500 a year.
I have a
Oh,
question. Do you ever go to Rio de Janeiro?
no.
No. Does anybody get in
No,
trouble if they go to Christ the Redeemer and try to paraglide from there?
no,
Oh, they do it. There's a
they
couple
do it.
videos. Yeah, I've
Normally
seen their
they just
videos.
take off from Pedra Bonita and just do like a cross country up to the Christ. But it's a quite technical one, I heard. There's no landing and the only landing spot is like a jockey course, and
Mhm.
you have to pay a fee if you land on the grass.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
wow.
the same thing they do to us here is they want to stop us from flying, they just deny us access to the land.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they try.
but Rio looks like a pretty nice spot. I would love to go there one day. It's
How
just a huge rock.
how far is that from you?
It's I don't know. It's
Like an
like
hour?
no. It's very far. It's like one or 2 days of travel by
Oh,
car.
see, we say Brazil, and you just think, oh, it's small, you
Well,
know?
it's huge. It's huge. I mean, Rio de Janeiro, what most people are familiar with, isn't even the capital.
Right.
No. It's just a small city.
Yeah. Yeah. So where, Max, what's the place that you have flown in the biggest air? Was that in Germany?
uh, what do you
The
mean by
the
biggest air?
biggest air, highest altitudes, biggest mountains, longest flights, all
Um,
those kind of things.
I'm not an altitude flyer,
No.
but the highest I've been was like 2000. It was in Alfredo Chaves. It's near Rio de Janeiro. It's a nice spot, but yeah, nothing special.
6,000 feet, two
Yeah,
2,000 meters.
yeah.
Very nice. Yes, I've been on this mission to touch the clouds, and I finally got to do it. That was my first
Oh, that's
main
awesome.
goal. Yeah, my son, he asked me every every day when I come home. He'd say, "Dad, did you touch the clouds?" And I told him, "No, not yet, not yet." And that day I came home. I said, "Hey, son, come here. I touched the clouds." And he said,
Is it cotton
"What?"
candy?
Yeah, it's what he said. He said, "What did it taste like?"
I think it tastes like cold, clean laundry
Oh,
myself.
that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
When you clean the laundry, that nice fresh smell, but cold. To me, that's what it feels
Yeah,
like.
It's just refreshing. I love it.
yeah. Hey, Chris, while you're talking, you have a little video where you took a dive through a little tiny hole in the clouds.
Oh yeah, I was very apprehensive to post that video because here in the United States, if you touch clouds, they want to put you in jail for some reason.
Yeah.
Like it's
I
terrible.
know. They want to
But
take away your flying.
yeah, so like that
Can
was a
you put
five.
it up?
Oh, do I send you the link or something, or
Nope.
how? I don't even know
So
how to do it.
on the left-hand side of the screen, you see a green screen share button,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can share what you have on your computer.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
figure that out. You don't have to do it right now
Okay.
uh,
Well,
while we're talking.
I will. Cool. I'll be happy to share the raw video. I keep it all
There you
on
go.
my computer. But yeah, that
So
was.
he's flying his paramotor videos. He'll fly from a local site that we fly at called Little Black. You've probably seen most of my beginning videos were at Little Black, and they'll fly from there and they'll go all the way to the beach and play around over the water and there's a fairgrounds over there. They'll fly, and sometimes when you're flying, the clouds will overdevelop, or you'll have a marine layer come in, or you'll wake up in the morning and there'll be a marine layer, and so these guys will fly and it looks like they're running on the clouds. It's insane.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of having a motor is that the clouds are just of like here we have the marine layer coming in the morning. Take off in the morning, and I find a hole You know, I can just, I don't even see the earth anymore, maybe a mountain in the distance, and it's beautiful. I love it. I'm looking for that raw video
So,
for you right now.
Max Martini, you had there was something on because I did some Google um, search on your history, and at some point were you
Oh,
involved in, were you involved in paramotoring in some kind of competition or something like that?
no, that's not me.
Nothing. Okay.
It looked like you were scared for a few minutes.
Yeah, we have your criminal record here. We noticed that. Google tells all. Yeah,
Even when you don't want it to.
I know, right? I was looking at some of the original videos. Max Martini has this video with instructions, and then you can click on the different. Let me pull it up.
The stall one.
You have a bunch of stuff on there that I just love. I'm like, gosh, that is such a nice. My wife, she was standing behind me, and she said, "Did you make that?" And I said, "No." She's like, "That's really nice." She thought I was making it, and gosh, I gotta. Let
Where
me see
can
if I can pull it
where
up.
can choose pitch pendulum, the minimum
Yes.
velocity and stuff. Yeah, that's the stall one.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I've been meaning to ask you regarding your training videos, the actor training videos. Do you ever feel like it's a sensitive topic trying to train other pilots across the world online? Do you ever feel like maybe you're not putting the exact information uh, online and that it may hinder a pilot when they're training? Or do you think the pilot should make that discretion and understand what he's actually doing?
Um,
Do you ever
it's a
worry?
nice question. It's a nice question. I don't train anybody. I just launch ideas.
Yeah,
Do you know? And I have something that worked for me, and I share that, and that's it. I don't train anybody. That's just up to you if you do it or not. If you
exactly.
you know.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
not saying you have to do this and this and this. I just say you can do this, or this is why this happens. I share my experience, I share my knowledge, and
yeah,
that's it.
And that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this
Can you
channel
see this, by the way? Can
available.
you see what I'm
Oh,
showing?
yeah, yeah. So you should have the option to share to everyone.
Oh, okay. You can't see. Sorry.
There you go. We can see it as long as you're talking.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to show you. As long as it's, yeah. Screen share.
Let me see. I have control of that. So as soon as you're ready, I can just put yours.
Sure. It's
There you go.
It's ready to go. Okay. So this is near the beach.
Present to everyone. There we go.
Did you get in trouble for that?
Not
Well, you
yet.
can. Yeah. I usually keep this, I edit this heavily. And now here's the tricky part. I am currently in Class G airspace, which means I need to remain clear of clouds. But this is my way to get back down to the ground to get clear of clouds. Now,
Okay.
I'm also like over this neighborhood, which is not great. My goal is to get through this hole and get as far away from the houses as I can.
So let me ask you, you're deep in the breaks right here.
Oh, it's just long breaks. I take a couple of reps before I launch and land.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
when you see the video, it does no justice watching it on here. When you see it for that split second when you're going down, it looks almost like you're flying backwards for a second. Did that happen?
I reversed it on purpose because
Okay.
I wanted to visually when I was editing it looked better because at the end of the fast shot you got to slow down and see the hole that I went through.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Excellent. Okay, so it should
How
be.
how did you get yourself in this situation?
Oh, let me just rewind. We launched from Little Black, and we were crossing this entire span of clouds, trying to get to the beach. And you know, the idea was that we were going to wait for a break in the clouds and then go through. But it wasn't until that hole appeared that we were able to sink down and then go to the beach, because the beach wasn't much farther away. We're like right at it there. Okay, here is the beach that we typically fly to, and Torrey Pines is to my left.
All right. Why didn't you just keep over the clouds?
Well, that was the first opportunity that looked good at the time.
And there's
But
other
it was
breaks.
worth it.
So
Yeah, it was worth it.
when you get to, it's pretty obvious that it's easier to see the holes when you're below the clouds than when you're above the clouds.
When you're above the clouds, until you get a ton of altitude and very, very cold, you can't really see the holes. But from here, you can see them.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I don't think you would get in trouble for that one.
No. We decided to take that opportunity that we did.
Yeah. So you have, Max, you have flown some paramotors. What is your latest paramotor that you're flying
Well,
or have flown?
just this trike one, the Thor 250. But it was a while ago that I last flown. I don't have much interest in paramotoring right now. I'm just focusing on acro. But I have some ideas with the motor. Just stay tuned.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, but let's see how it goes. We have
Yeah.
I have something special for next weekend, not this one, next one. And it will be filmed also. It will be a big event for me in my paragliding career. Yes, I hope you guys
No secrets. That's
will
it.
will see me alive.
Is the acro contest?
You can't just tease us like that. That's mean. That's mean.
Well, you have to stay tuned and watch my channel, subscribe. No,
That's great.
I will tell you guys right now. I'm going to jump from a balloon, a hot air balloon.
Whoa.
That's amazing. That's a dream coming true.
Oh yes, that's. Are you going to have your paraglider loaded into a deployment bag, or are you going to hang it off of the
No
end?
D-bag, no D-bag, just rollover.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
Wow.
Why that
And
method?
It doesn't matter if you have the D bag or if you hang it. You know, the paragliders are not really easy to open from like that anyway. So just you have to pump it and make sure that you don't get a cravat or anything.
Yes, but I think the rollover is a little bit safer than the D-bag because the wing is already open and you can check the lines, you can see if there's a problem, you can solve it before jumping, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The only aspect that is a little bit different is the free fall time, which on the rollover is double as the D-bag one.
What wing are you going to use?
My own one and only red out.
Nice. I thought you had more than one wing.
Yes, but I just fly with this one.
That's it. The only one to fly with.
They are expensive. They are very expensive, but worth it.
Definitely.
I think paragliders are a dream. I could never have imagined when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's insane how just a little cloth and a few lines can fly this well.
It's a tablecloth.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love it.
If the audience has some questions or something, feel free to ask.
Oh my gosh, there's lots of comments. I wasn't even paying attention. Let me check it out. Oh, there's some links in there. Nice. You want to answer that last question there?
From Flo, what's the minimum
Yeah.
wind speed required to fly these sites? Which ones?
I think Flo was talking about the sites around Melbourne, around my area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so to answer that question, it's just probably 20 kilometers, 20 Ks would be the minimum. I guess the optimal would be, 20 Ks around the sites, most of the sites.
With a
What?
16-meter wing, you have to have a lot more wind.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, 60-meter, you need a lot more. But as soon as
But
you
the
fly
Suzy
it,
one is amazing, huh? It has
yeah, man.
quite nice handling. I love it.
Yeah, it's like a good mix between the normal paraglider and the
Yeah.
mini wing. It seems like it's fused in between because the glide is just unbelievable on it, and it's so nimble. I just every time I fly that, I never want to go back to the big wings because it's so much more agile and fun. But
How
Yeah,
did you
yeah.
like when you were in Bali?
yeah,
You flew a competition wing or a acro wing. How was that?
oh yeah, that acro wing, that was an insane wing. Actually, have you ever flown anything of that nature, Max? Like a Jin Raid?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
with like valves and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and
Um,
how was that for you, like going to a wing like that? Because that was like a completely different style of paraglider wing, I felt.
exactly. You have much more performance. You need to fly much more precisely, and I think it's amazing. I love acro wings. Just to
Mm.
play around on the dune and stuff. I think it has a little bit more range than a mini wing, just because of the suspension that is a little bit higher.
Mm. Yeah, it was.
The,
Yeah,
look, for example, the wing overs, it has a lot more amplitude than a mini wing. A mini wing just rolls pretty quick, and a wing over on an acro wing just goes big and looks good.
yeah, yeah. It was insane. All I had to do was just put a little bit of weight shift in the harness,
Yeah,
and not even touch the brakes, and it would just go into huge wing overs already. So
yeah,
that gave me like an impression of how different these wings are and how sort of careful you have to be when flying one.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's so important to be careful because if I learned a few times on wingovers that if you let yourself rotate too much, I deflated one side of my wing in the middle of a wingover and my motor was even on. So yeah, you got to be so
Well,
careful.
yeah,
I actually did a video about that lately,
that was
about wing
such a
overs.
good video. You like went into detail about the wing overs where I don't think I've seen any other video like that where it's just so much detail into what's actually going on.
Yeah, but it's actually quite simple, right? You just have to know your timing, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, but it's still getting that timing and muscle memory to execute it properly.
Yeah,
That's
and
that's
the thing I did differently is that I gave you a practice, which is holding your risers and just trying with your body to amplify the pendulum motion and to understand the right timing of weight shifting, and then you can do wing overs. Then you can practice wing overs.
yeah. Hey, for you, how was your progression into doing your first acro move? Was it you just went like to something difficult, or was it just a gradual, very gradual sort of progression?
Exactly, it was
Oh,
very
look at
gradual.
that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That's pretty rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's having
So,
flashbacks right there.
Oh, I,
so
I hope
I
you brought a reserve that day.
yeah, I had,
Good,
but
good.
you can see I used the stall and got out of it quite nice. So
Yeah,
first I always did wing overs and playing low like you do on the dune jetty, and I was being a freestyler like you. Um, then I got um, the source of information about the stall, this progressive training. I got from Fabio Fava, which is a pioneer in acro. He lives right here in Florianopolis. So I met him, and he saw I had potential to learn acro, and he gave me this information. And from that point on, I started practicing pitch pendulums. I did many of those. And then later on, I got to do minimum velocity and stall points, and just repeat it a million times. And like I said before, the first 10 ones, you're discovering the movement. The first 100 ones, you're learning it. And the first 1,000 ones, you mastered it. So just repeat a lot and masterize all the movements. And then one maneuver connects to another. For example, the stall. If you understand the stall, you can do misty flips, you can do helicos, you can do sat, you can do everything else, because you know the limit of your brakes, and you know how the wing behaves in the stall. For example, the misty flip is just a negative, just an asymmetric stall. You stall one side and then release like a backfly, and that spins easily.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of going out and doing it and repeating. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have it.
Man, I'm
I have a
surprised.
question for you, Max. Do you believe the saying that it takes 10,000 hours of practice to master a craft applies to paragliding, or is it more or is it less?
It depends on the person, I think, and how much you practice between the pause. You know, you can practice 10,000 hours, but divided in many years, or you can practice 10,000 hours like one day after another. You know, that makes a huge difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. When you talk about the intensity, how often are you flying? I try to fly at least 2 times a week, maybe if I can fly more. But uh, you're if you can fly every day, that's the best.
Yeah, but Robert, you're doing the right thing. You're gathering information. You're trying to better yourself. You know, and that makes the difference. You're way above the average pilot. You know.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
not it's not the way to do it, in my opinion. Um, like I love the way that you present it, how you teach it, and I've been able to learn some things, no matter what. Just like you said it so well, the pilot is going to make the decision. You're putting information out there.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and to have the conversation to talk about it like we're doing this. If this existed when I first started, I would be watching every second because we can get so much information. And a pilot's dream is to be able to share and learn.
Yeah, and as
In
you
my opinion.
said before, we are a small community. We need to hold together. We need to
Yeah.
help one another. We need to teach everybody that needs this information, just
Yeah.
for the cause of not getting others, or not helping. How should I say? Helping others not to get in bad situations, just to save a life, maybe.
Right. Or to save a reserve pack.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it's that easy.
Oh man. So Max said that when he landed with after the dog pulled his reserve, you can't reach it. So he said there was some guys there. He's getting dragged up the hill. There's nothing he can do. So these guys had to come and help him to pull the wing down.
Oh no. You know
The
what I noticed
reserve.
is you have to cut your bridle, but if you didn't bring a hook knife, you're going for a ride.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
The
so
suspension is
crazy.
so high you can reach the line. It's crazy.
So can't pull yourself up, crawl up? I mean, it's probably super hard.
Yeah, try.
No. No, thank you, man.
in a situation there's so many things going on. You're just trying to I don't know what you're trying to do, but
I was telling
just
someone,
survive.
we laughed so hard when I told the story to someone else, another pilot. And so I'm so glad that you shared that on here. So funny.
Yeah, quite an experience.
Yeah, the best story ever so far. Yeah. So I just reached out to Paul, uh, how you say Guschenbauer?
Gustelbauer.
Guschenbauer. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to get him on to talk
Oh,
with
yeah,
us. His English is
crazy.
so good, and he's so humble, so nice.
Ah, yeah?
So yeah, so I'm gonna coordinate with him, and we'll try to interview him too and talk to him about his stuff. He's come a long way.
Yeah, he's a great
I,
pilot.
did you watch him in the Expo Alps?
Yeah, but he's not my
So,
favorite.
Who's your favorite, Max?
yeah, who's your favorite?
The eagle.
Kriegel?
The
Oh, Craig,
eagle. Yeah,
the Eagle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Eh?
See, I always
Um,
pull for the underdogs, so I pull for
yeah.
Paul, and I'm like, "Come on, Paul, you got this, bro." And but we
We
also
can't
have
all be we can't all be Jean Baptiste Chandeliers, huh?
that dude's a champ.
I love his videos.
He's incredible. We have Gavin McClurg from the United States, so I put him first. I want him to win, represent the USA. But Paul's videos, he's so humble and so just. I love him, man. You can't help but to just love him. If you guys haven't seen his stuff, he's got his own channel, and it's you guys watch his channel?
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, go. He brings a drone with him when he flies. And
Which drone?
I don't know what drone but his footage is incredible. It will maybe you shouldn't watch it because you'll stop making videos.
I will get upset.
I'm telling you, watch here. I'll pull one up right now. It's incredible.
I'm so scared of bringing an automated drone. I hope he has somebody piloting it.
Yeah, someone is there with him.
Good, good.
2 days ago, I've flown with two guys from Germany. They're visiting us, and those guys working at Skywalk with Paul Guschelbauer, and that was nice to know.
Really? Where was that at?
Yeah. What?
Where did you say that was?
Here, in one of those.
Brazil.
Yeah, one of those spots nearby.
That is great. I
I
can't
think
seem to find.
those Skywalk wings are fine. I tell you.
The Skywalks?
Yeah. The mini wing, the tonic is also quite nice.
Yeah, the small wings, they're pretty popular on the windy days at Torrey Pines.
Yeah,
And
I have a friend who only flies there on the windy days because it's less crowded. You need better skills, better reaction time to fly in that high wind.
It's also much more fun.
I believe you.
Yeah, see, I'm still timid and scared in the strong winds. Although
go ahead.
the best thing that ever happened to me, we went to the park just for kiting because I did a lot of kiting. Like Max in the beginning did 2 years of ground handling before any major flying. But I was just in that like 20, 30 hours of ground handling about that time, and the winds were about 25 miles an hour. I'm sorry, it would be closer to 25 K. It was about 20, something like that. For me, was way too strong. But I stayed. I fought with it and conquered it in the park. After about an hour, I would bring it up, and then I would control with my rear risers to maintain. And then, anyways, I really was grateful for that one day of good wind to learn. But I was getting dragged all over the park, and there was people everywhere, and Some people were sitting there trying to just get a tan, and I come flying by them, you know, and I would kill the wing and stop. And someone came up to me. They said, are you in control of that?"
Yes. Do you need help?
"Oh yeah, I'm good. I got it." I was exhausted. My feet were all blistered. It was so funny.
Oh no.
It's
Yeah,
all
it
about
was-
technique.
Yeah.
Well, you have to pay for it with effort.
You got to put the time in. That's it. You got to see this. This is the footage. Let me pull it up here and I'll share it with you guys. I'm telling you, I don't know if I should even show you because it's not even right, man. So he's like, he goes to, I don't even know where this is. Right after the Expo Alps, he went to Alaska. Look at this. When you get a chance, look at this. Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
That's incredible. What a
He's
view.
got some skis on. The guy who edits his videos contacted me. That's how I started talking to him. And I just had a comment when he had first started posting, and
Hashtag frozen face.
yeah, I know. I don't want to show too much because you guys need to watch this.
Oh yeah.
Let
me tell you,
Yeah.
like there is some money that you have to invest in video editing and camera equipment because I refuse to invest money in it. So most of my videos will just be 1080p or less, but 4K videos with good cameras, good lenses, good drones. It doesn't come
Giant
cheap.
memory.
Yeah, it doesn't come cheap. So a lot of my productions are going to stay amateur.
Especially with yours, where you lose the camera off your toe on launch.
I know that happened one time. Find it again. Yeah, I'm glad you were there for that because you were sympathetic when I told you. Other people would be like, "Well, why was it on your foot to begin with?"
Yeah. That I want to ask Max. You ever put a camera on your foot?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
But I'm not stupid. I attach a string to the camera and do a knot on my foot.
That's so funny.
I never lost a GoPro flying.
See, I only have one GoPro right now, so maybe I'll get another one for Christmas.
Ooh, I think Santa knows what you like.
Yeah, and I've been good. I've been good.
Well, the 6 and the Fusion is out. Oh, your videos would be great if you had the Fusion.
What is that? That's a GoPro?
It's the GoPro that is 360 degrees.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, they make you can use the footage, and the GoPro software can let you do Tiny Planet. It can let you do full 360 view. It can let you do just localized. Like it's like having the camera aimed everywhere all at once, and you choose in the editing where you want the camera to be aimed. So you never have to worry about where the GoPro's aimed.
Speaking of cameras, where's your camera? Why can't we see you?
I don't have a webcam.
I have one.
I'm so sorry.
Are you Mac?
Oh no, I'm
Macintosh?
PC. I'm PC.
I have a webcam if you need one.
Yes, Nick. I actually was going to buy one, but so much happened in life. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I was just wondering. I know maybe you're just sitting there naked or something.
No, actually, I'm decent for once.
So, Max, you're. I don't want to hold you hostage if I know it's late there. So, whenever you need to bail out, and I'll send you all the money that we agreed to do this interview.
What?
You're famous in my world. Actually,
it's fine.
since you did, I will send double what we agreed to. Okay.
Okay, all right. So I just want to thank you guys for listening, and just to be, just thank you guys for your kindness and for your support. Always watching my videos, it amazes me, that it humbles me that so many people enjoy it actually. And well, just thank you very much. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jetty. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Chris,
Yeah.
for everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
And
before you go, there's something I was going to say that
yeah,
I post my videos on a website called steamit.com. Are you familiar?
no,
Steamit. Okay, so it's kind of crazy. It's off the wall. You'll have to do your own research on it, but it's a cryptocurrency,
yeah,
and so you get paid in Bitcoin to post
yeah.
videos. And then you can take the crypto and you can exchange it for whatever currency you want through an exchange. And so I don't have enough followers or enough views on YouTube to get to monetize, so I just leave it. But I post my videos on Steemit. So whatever I post on YouTube, I put it on Steemit, and um, I get paid. And
Oh
some
yeah.
posts, yeah. So some posts, I'll get between $20 and $40 just for one video.
Oh wow.
So it's worth looking into. It's I'll put it in the chat. It takes a couple days. Here we go.
Nice. Nice to
It
know.
Yeah, I think you would do great on there. People like extreme sports on there, and when you post, um, it's really cool.
All right.
Steemit.com. And then I was going to say, have you ever thought about making a Patreon account?
No, not yet.
Okay. But you know about it, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Cloud-Based Mayhem. You guys know about that?
I
Gavin
don't
Clark?
know.
Now you do. Oh, man, you'll love that. This is Gavin McClurg, pilots. He flies in the X-Bull Alps, and he has a podcast. I'll put a link in that. I'll put a link right now for that too. Check his podcast out. Oh, I'm telling you, Max, you're going to love this. You'll be able to appreciate it. Sometimes it's over my head, but you've been in the sport long enough that you'll really appreciate it.
Hey, Max,
All
you
right.
never heard of the Cloud-Based podcast?
Yeah, I heard of it, but I don't have much time to listen to it all the time.
They had Pal Tackats on it. It was such an incredible episode.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Acro did. Yeah, you should definitely listen whenever you get a chance.
yeah.
Which one was that?
Definitely.
The Pal Tackats. It was
Oh, yeah.
someone, I think.
Pioneer in Acro. Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys. I'm out.
Yeah. All right.
Ciao. See you next time.
Ciao. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Thanks, Max.
Man, you rock.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, I think I gotta go as well. I got
Yeah.
a bit of stuff to do.
Yeah, me too. My kids just told me it's dinner time.
Well, thanks
Yeah.
heaps for the invite. It was
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Getty, Chris, anytime, whenever we go live, or we're going to try to do it on Thursdays, maybe the same time, so that Max can come on whenever too. And I think we can have a handful of guys on here at the same time, maybe like 10 at the most. But you guys are welcome to come on. Just shoot me a message. Like you did, Getty. You just sent me an email or whatever. And when I start the show, I'll just shoot you a link anyways, or an invite. So you're always welcome to be on.
Yeah. And I reckon next time, like, we'll just try and advertise it a bit more. Because I could have put it up on my channel or just spread it out a bit more for when we're actually going to be doing it.
No problem. This is the first one, so word will get out. Look, we've got 10 people on right now. It's crazy. So appreciate everybody logging on and checking out the channel. And please go check out Getty G's channel, Max Martini's channel. These guys have some incredible footage. Max Parra and come back next time, ask questions in the comments, and just fun, man. Love doing this. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I,
It's
I
awesome.
actually had a lot more fun than I thought I would.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to go eat my dinner. You guys have a great night, and don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Yeah.
So that way you can
Already
see
have.
cool videos.
Yeah. All
See ya,
right.
guys.
All right. See you guys.
Later.